Hi everyone, it's Mo from Mo Goes, and I'm back again with part 2 of my cruise on celebrity reflection. If you watched part 1, you know it was all about the excursions, but part 2 will be focused on the food, specifically the buffet, main dining room, quick service, and specialty dining. Let's kick the video off with buffet dining at the Ocean View Cafe. Located on deck 14 of the ship's aft, you'll find a spacious and well-designed cafeteria-style buffet restaurant. As you can see, there are no hand washing stations, but hand sanitizer is encouraged and it's offered prior to entering. Just know that it's not mandatory, but sadly I noticed way too many passengers bypass it as they entered the buffet. The last Royal Caribbean cruise that I took was about a year ago on Adventure of the Seas. It happens to be a Voyager class ship, so if any of you have been on one of those ships recently, let me know if they're still mandating washy-washy as you enter the Windjammer.
None.
After only a couple of cruises with Royal Caribbean, I was convinced that they had the absolute best food of all the cruise lines. Celebrity proved me wrong because let me tell you, the food on this cruise was out of this world. Keep in mind that Celebrity is Royal Caribbean's luxury cruise line, so you would think that the food would be pretty much equal. Absolutely not. I think Celebrity cruise food is maybe 3 steps above Royal Caribbean. Literally, it was almost overwhelming how many options were available, so even the pickiest eater will find something here to eat. I found that cruise pizza can be hit or miss, but this pizza was always on point. The crust is made fresh every single day, round the clock, at least during cafe hours, and it was so good. More on pizza a little bit later in the video. If charcuterie style cheese and cold cuts is your jam, then you would be very happy on this cruise. All you meat eaters would be very pleased with this buffet because every kind of meat, every cut you can think of, they had it. I think what impressed me the most about the food on this cruise was the variety of literally everything they had. They had any and every kind of lettuce, every kind of salad topping. I think there were about 7 different ice cream flavors. They had ice cream toppings. There was even a fondue station. Besides the regular desserts, gluten-free options were available as well. The vegan options were very impressive. The one thing about them I noticed, most of them were Indian cuisine, but that's okay. Everything was delicious. The fruits were fresh and beautiful. I noticed that all the watermelon had seeds in it. I think it was a really smart move to not allow self-service at the shrimp cocktail station because we know how some people get carried away. Although there were lots of pastries and cakes to choose from, I noticed that there weren't as many offerings as I remember on past cruises, particularly my last cruise on Royal Caribbean Adventure of the Seas. I can't tell you how many different donuts, cakes, cupcakes, cookies. There were so many sweets and desserts on that cruise. It was wild, but this one didn't offer as many, and I found that very interesting. There are 4 convenient beverage stations, so no matter where you're sitting in the cafe, there's one close to you. Not only was there a wide variety of food options, but many of the items offered were rotated out day to day. So sometimes you would never see the same offering available 2 days in a row. A prime example of that is mole chicken, and that was offered at the Mexican station. We had it twice in one day during lunch, I believe it was, but we never saw it again after that for some reason, but it was so good. We never buy the drink package on cruises. It's not worth it to us. We're not big soft drink and alcohol drinkers, but we did order from the cocktail menu in the buffet, and that was definitely worth it. We loved the watermelon tropic drink. It was so good and refreshing, perfectly sweet. This one you definitely should try. Breakfast was definitely my favorite meal in the Ocean View Cafe. I love the offerings available. And unlike the offerings during lunch and dinner time in the cafe, I think there was more consistency. You saw more of the same things every day, like the French toast, waffles, grits, oatmeal. That I really liked. Breakfast in the cafe was usually very quiet and empty, and if you go outside to the exterior seating area, you'll get the most beautiful views. And remember, if you go to breakfast early, it almost guarantees better seating and smaller crowds. Let's roll through some footage of everything that I ate in the Ocean View Cafe. We had breakfast and lunch pretty much every single day here, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 days. We did have dinner in the Ocean View Cafe maybe once. The rest of the time we had dinner in the main dining room or specialty dining. Mid-cruise, we decided to have dinner in the cafe, hoping that we could catch the mole chicken again, but sadly, it was never served. So if you ever get the opportunity to try this dish, please get it, because you don't know when you're gonna see it again. One thing that I will note about the pastries in the Ocean View Cafe, they weren't bad, but they weren't great. Overall, the Ocean View Cafe gets a 9 out of 10, great food and great service. For 4 nights of our cruise, we had dinner in the main dining room called the Opus Dining Room. Our cruise was booked under Celebrity's concierge class, which comes with benefits, one of which is the concierge lunch. It was our very first meal at the Opus Dining Room, which was scheduled on day 1 of the cruise. Because it was so busy, we ended up sharing a table with another party so that we can get seated a little faster. Although 3 courses were offered, I ended up only ordering the main course, and I had grilled salmon, but I didn't record it. It was delicious and definitely a great way to kick off the cruise. Later that evening, we returned to the Opus Dining Room for dinner. One thing that I noticed immediately was that there were no themed menus like the ones that I've had on past cruises. On cruises, I always try to do something new, try something new, and this time I stepped out of the red wine box and I tried a white wine, specifically a Riesling. The menu offered 3 courses and I ordered from each of them. I had an appetizer, main course, as well as dessert. Everything I ordered was great. It was tasty, the presentation was nice. The only thing is that the jerk chicken wasn't your typical restaurant style authentic jerk chicken, so keep that in mind. Other than that, dinner in the main dining room on night 1 was a success. I give it a 9 out of 10 overall. On night 2, we had another great menu selection. As I mentioned earlier, we don't buy the drink package, so what I'll do when I feel like having some alcohol, I'll just order a wine or a cocktail during dinner or maybe lunch. Since the Riesling was so good on day 1, I ended up ordering that each night in the main dining room. Dinner was delicious. I give it a 10 out of 10. Dessert was amazing. I had the warm apple crumble. Excellent. On day 3, we again had great selections to choose from on the menu. I ordered the broiled salmon. Everything was delicious, but I skipped dessert this time. We didn't return to the Opus Dining Room for dinner again until night 5, and I decided to do something a little different. So I've been having the same thing almost every night for my appetizer, and I decided to experiment a little bit and go outside of the box, and tonight I'm going to try, let's see. Drum roll, ladies and gentlemen, I tried escargot. Yes, you heard it here. I never thought I'd ever try this, but I did it, and I'm not mad at it. This is my very first time trying escargot, and it did not disappoint. It's so good. It's very delicate. There's really no taste to it. It has a soft but firm texture, and the butter sauce is delicious. It's nutty, very flavorful. It's really nice. For some reason, cruises bring out the adventurous side of me when it comes to food, but I'm glad that I tried the escargot. Also, I got to give a big shout out to our server in the main dining room. Roel, you were awesome. He was so personable, friendly. He took care of us. Great guy. Overlooking the pool on deck 14, you'll find the Mast Grill. This is the best place for made-to-order burgers, hot dogs, and fries. Not only did they have classic beef burgers, but they also had turkey and veggie burgers. I ordered a veggie burger, Jay had a turkey burger, and the teenager ordered a regular beef burger. We couldn't find seating anywhere, so we just took our food back to our cabin and enjoyed it on the balcony. The Mast Grill gets a 10 out of 10 for service and food. Everything was delicious. We had 3 specialty dining reservations booked, and 2 of them were here at the Tuscan Grill. The first of the 2 were scheduled for dinner on day 4. I love a very posh and relaxed dining experience on cruises, which is why I always try to schedule specialty dining experiences. The servers wasted no time bringing our bread and olive oil to the table, as well as taking our drink orders. Of course, I ordered a Riesling. The menu had a great selection of pretty much everything: starters, soups, salads, main entrees, and then there was a separate dessert menu that we'll get into later. I ordered the crab cake for my appetizer. It was absolutely delicious. For my main course, I ordered the rosemary snapper. That was a big mistake. I don't like the way it was prepared. It didn't smell good. It didn't taste that good. It had that cod, fishy kind of taste. Jay had the other half of the fish and his was the same, but the vegetables and the mashed potatoes were delicious. We weren't too sure what to order for dessert, but we ended up sharing a fig gelato and tiramisu. The gelato was just okay. I've had way better. I give it a 7 out of 10. The tiramisu was pretty good. I give that an 8 out of 10. We arrived at dinner at the perfect time because we got the most amazing view of the sunset. The entire experience was about 2 hours, which is the reason why it was completely dark by the time we left. So if you're thinking about booking specialty dining reservations, expect to be there for up to 2 hours. On day 7, the last night of the cruise, we went back to Tuscan Grill for our second scheduled dining reservation. We all decided to play it safe this time and not order fish again and go with something a little bit more traditional. Although we did order another crab cake appetizer, Jay ordered the chicken parmesan and I ordered the lobster rigatoni alfredo for the main dish. The teenager followed my lead and got the rigatoni as well. This was a smart decision because this meal was excellent. It was delicious. I wish I had ordered this the first night. The Tuscan Grill definitely redeemed themselves with this delicious meal. I decided to stick with what I know and I ordered the tiramisu again. It was really good. Sadly, I'm going to have to deduct points for a couple of things that happened during the second visit. We were never served our olive oil and balsamic vinegar dip for the bread. We did get the bread, but not the dip. And they never took our drink orders. For that, I have to deduct points. Overall experience, 5 out of 10. For our third specialty dining experience, it was Japanese cuisine at Sushi on 5. We all love Japanese food, so we were very excited for this experience. I was surprised to see so many different options for wines and cocktails. I had a hard time deciding what to get. You know already that I love to try new things, so our server recommended the Joto Yutsu, and I went with it. It was really good. It was served hot, which was weird, but I enjoyed it. We each ordered something from the starters menu, the hot pot and noodles menu, as well as the rolls menu. It was surprisingly empty during dinner, so I took this time to get some really nice footage of the restaurant while we waited for our food. It didn't take very long for our food to come out from the time we ordered, but I think it had a lot to do with the fact that we were one of 2 parties in the restaurant at the time. For starters, we ordered the lobster and shrimp wontons and the chicken and ginger dumplings. Everything was so good. I can't tell you which one I liked the best. Next was the lobster ramen. It was very flavorful, a little spicy. It might have been a little tiny bit too salty, but other than that, it was delicious. I ordered an eel dragon roll, which had shrimp tempura and grilled eel on the top. This was really good. We also had the spicy tuna roll and the baked scallops roll. I can't lie, we were completely stuffed, but we still wanted to try dessert, so we went ahead and ordered something that we all shared between the three of us. We ended up with the caramelized gingerbread as well as the matcha misu. The matcha misu was basically a matcha flavored tiramisu, and it was good, but it wasn't great. I think it was a little bit light on flavor. I enjoyed the wafer a lot more than I did the actual tiramisu. This is definitely high on my must try list. If you're on the Celebrity Reflection, I give the whole experience 10 out of 10. Another cool benefit of booking your celebrity cruise concierge class is you get daily late afternoon hors d'oeuvres delivered to your cabin. If you're a snacker, then this is definitely something you may want to consider. And of course, you know me, I enjoyed mine on the balcony overlooking the ocean with my bottle of sparkling water. If you saw my last video aboard the MSC Seashore, you may remember I made a big deal about Venchi chocolate. They had the best gelato on any cruise that I've ever been on, but I wanted to try the gelateria at Cafe Al Bacio. They had lots of tasty flavors to choose from, but I kept it simple. I got a cup of pistachio and hazelnut. This gelato looked so good, and I had very high expectations of it because in my head, I'm thinking this is going to be comparable to Venchi chocolate. Boy, was I disappointed. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great, and it doesn't compare to Venchi, but 6 out of 10 is what I give it. For this cruise, we wanted to do something different, and we decided to sign up for an onboard activity, specifically pizza making at the Lawn Club Grill. We had about 10 people in our class, and there were 2 lead chefs there to teach us how to make our very own pizzas. All the dough was ready made. They didn't go into too much detail as far as the ingredients and how to make the actual dough, but we got to learn how to prepare the dough, how to stretch it, how to lay the dough out on the pan, and all the do's and don'ts that go into how to make the perfect pizza.
Simple. Only one stroke.
Yeah.
It's simple. You see? Easy.
What pickle?
You see?
First thing, when you are putting your tomato sauce, you start at the center. Take one full ladle, one little bit. You start from the center. So you start from the center, you just roll it all the way to the edges.
We are doing a flashback to the 80s tonight in our totally 80s party.
All the way to the edges, but we are not going until end of the edges. The reason, because we have to put some oil, olive oil. If we put olive oil, we will get nice crispy and good flavor.
Very simple, very straightforward instructions. I think everyone was excited to get started, and I jumped right in. At this point, I was all done. My pizza was already in the oven, so I got the camera and got some close-ups of everybody else at work. Check out how creative the teenager got with her toppings.
Enjoy your pizza. Thank you. You want to put fruit dessert? Chocolate? This one. So now you are not famous in the world now.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's me.
This one. Right down. Right down.
Yep, this is me.
We typically don't schedule onboard activities like this, but this one seemed really interesting, and I'm so glad that we did it. It was phenomenal. We loved every single second of it. We had the perfect class size, the instructors were awesome, the process was so much fun, the pizzas turned out delicious and beautiful. I rate everything a 10 out of 10 with this activity. You've got to book this if you're cruising on the Celebrity Reflection. The icing on the cake was that we got to take home a copy of the recipe for the pizza dough. How awesome. So overall, I give the food on Celebrity Reflection a 9 out of 10. Despite the disappointments that we experienced at the Tuscan Grill and the Gelateria, we still highly recommend that you experience both places for yourself. Besides that, I had a great food experience. Well, this brings us to the end of part 2 of this series. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you were considering Celebrity for your next cruise, make sure you let me know in the comments if this video was helpful to you. I've got lots more cruise and travel content coming, including part 3 of this series. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. And until the next video, see ya.